those of you joining us for the first time, this is the Mon-Wed-Fri channel, and I'm your host, Pete. Because of my schedule, I'm kind of changing some of the formats around, playing with some of the stuff I normally do. So, if you have any questions or if I miss my own premiere, don't forget to leave me a comment below the video, and I will try to answer it as quick as I can. Now, today's Monday news and headlines, I actually want to focus on one set of headlines in particular because I do think they're very relevant. And I want to make sure that everyone kind of understands how this is a bad idea, which is pretty much how I'm titling the video. So let me start with that first article. It comes to us from the Associated Press. The Chinese foreign minister says trying to cut his country out of a trade deal would be a historic mistake. Now, this was about a week and a half ago, a little earlier in February. Oh no, actually, my bad. It was this week. I'm off a few days. Essentially, what the Chinese foreign minister has said is that China's foreign minister told a gathering of international security policy officials Saturday, trying to shut China out of trade in the name of avoiding dependency would be a historic mistake. He hopes Germany wants to avoid over-reliance on trade with an increasingly assertive China. Now, China is using the Belt and Road Initiative, which is not a new thing. The European empires, the Americans have all done the same thing. Oh, we will help you fund your bridges, water, ports, whatever, but you have to give us access to Air Force bases or oil, and now you owe us money for the next 20 years, kind of thing. But China is a little bit worried because with the situation in Russia and Ukraine, a lot of European and other countries are kind of backing away, like, we're not so cool with you. Today, more people have come to realize that the absence of cooperation is the bigger risk, Wang said to an interpreter. Those who attempt to shut China out in the name of de-risking will make a historical mistake. The world economy is like a big ocean that cannot be cut into isolated lakes. The trend towards economic globalization cannot be reversed. We need to work together to make globalization more universally beneficial and inclusive. He also renewed China's pushback against allegations of forced labor in the Xinjiang region, where it is accused of running labor camps with the Uyghurs and Turkic minorities, um, something that China has been known for doing or has been accused of doing for quite a while. Now, China is under a bit of fire. Their economy is in trouble because, as many of you heard in my previous videos, and other people are talking about this, this is not exclusive. Um, their economy was puffed up by real estate, but the real estate market they have reported is not real. The buildings are collapsing. They're just really abysmally made. And right now they have entire cities that are largely 80% empty. So they made all these projects to attract like foreign money, investment, and now it's not good. They also tricked the Chinese people into putting their savings and accounts into accounts that were not secured or insured. They were investment tools, and then people lost their money when the market tanked. Those riots China had last year and the year before because of the banks that got so bad they had to bring armored personnel carriers into those cities was largely a result of this boondoggle that these guys got going on. So right now, if China's trying to push back on Europe and other countries that are trying to get away from them because there's a little too much risk involved, there's hacking going on, there's products that are spying on us, people complain ranging from software to apps, whatever. Uh, Nobody's really trusting the situation. So, with that in mind, I saw this article shortly thereafter and said, why would this be a good idea? This is a terrible idea. Not for the Chinese, mind you, but for us as Americans to participate in. Chinese EV manufacturer BYD, I don't know what BYD stands for, exploring Mexico factory as entry to the U.S. market. Now, in order to get around American regulations, as far as direct import, they're making it in Mexico and trying to take advantage of some loopholes in the NAFTA slash USMCA agreements that he currently has. They're not a fan of that. Now, what I find interesting is, let me explain here. Chinese automaker BYD has set its sights on Mexico as its quest for global expansion to include North America. The Shenzhen-based car company's rapid growth has made it one of the world's largest electric vehicle sellers, is scouting locations in the country for factories from which it could consider exporting cars to the U.S. The plans show rising enthusiasm within China's car industry for expansion in North America despite the political risk. Building cars in Mexico for the U.S. would allow the automakers to avoid hefty import tariffs that would be applied. Now, what I find interesting here, and this is, by the way, just so you guys have that article, if you want to look it up yourself, is in the Wall Street Journal. Now, what I find interesting, if you think about the movie Leave the World Behind, which I think we've all like dissected and found all the Easter eggs and hidden meanings, and we've been debating. There's a scene where a bunch of hacked Teslas, and they use the Teslas because that's the predominant EV, start running amok and they cause a bunch of accidents and basically lock up bridges, tunnels, roadways, and prevent movement of people and personnel around the country during a cyber attack. Um, why would I want to get a Chinese electric car, like a Chinese Tesla? That's all electronic, that monitors my position, even more so than my phone, because my phone, I can turn off my phone and drive my F-150. I can't turn off my car if I'm in the middle of nowhere. Um, I'm not so sold on that. Now, I don't know a lot about this particular brand of vehicle. I'm assuming it's a competitor to Tesla, Ford, Toyota. Toyota is actually going completely hybrid. This would be a bad idea for me to buy. That just scares the hell out of me. You don't trust TikTok half the time. Why would I buy a car made from in a country that monitors its people 24/7, that doesn't allow them to see me? How do I know what this car is doing? Is it recording what we're doing, where I'm going, what I'm spending my money on? Obviously, our phones are doing that as well, but they have it to a whole nother level. I mean, for crying out loud, they have people who are monitoring their former citizens who've immigrated here to flee the country, and they're being followed around in our freaking country with these little police stations that the FBI is finally getting around to chasing out and busting them up and deporting these assholes. Um, Importing Chinese-made electric vehicles, whether they're good quality or not, is not the question. It's not a question of cost. It's not a question to me of engineering. If they were coming from England or Germany or Japan or some other country that we're like, okay, we trade with these guys, they're legit. This is a cool thing. Would you trust one of them? Would you buy a BYD and drive it around? That scares the hell out of me. And first of all, if they're making it the slave labor, that's not cool. But all those allegations aside, who's to say that they decide, oh, we want Taiwan, and they don't remote control the BYD cars and send those running amok right here? Just something interesting, and I'm wondering if maybe the movie Leave the World Behind, they use the Teslas as a symbolic example of an EV because that's what we have in the country right now. But they're really kind of forewarning us of this thing. Either way, that scares the hell out of me. I just don't like it. China is also starting to build their own airliners to compete with Boeing in the U.S. and Airbus in Europe, who's a competitor to Boeing. Um, Probably overdue for the Chinese, but again, you want to buy vehicles made in a country that is totalitarian. I mean, we can complain all we want about the U.S. and and Canada. We're nowhere near what those guys are with their people. Um, does using it affect my social credit score? I mean, what is the end game? I'm not a fan. I just thought this is very interesting. So, folks, watch for this kind of stuff in the market. Watch for these evolutions. They can't come into the country, can't come into the country directly because of the tariffs. So they're trying to build in other places and import them through the side. I personally would not touch one. I would avoid it like the plague. I'd rather buy a hybrid Toyota, which I know they've been doing that for 20 years, and they're actually really good at them. I'd rather buy a car from the Japanese anyway than these guys because these guys legit have threatened to pick fights with us. So anyway, watch for these weird setups showing up on the market. Right? The BYDs, supposedly a Chinese iPhone. There's other stuff out there. You don't need to partake of that. Okay, you don't trust damn TikTok half the time. I sure as hell am not going to trust a vehicle that has my entire family in it. Who's to say they're like, oh, you know what? This congressman um, refused to sign off on a trade agreement, so oh, he had an accident. I mean, granted, we've done stuff like that before. You know, cut people's brakes, put a bomb in the car, but make it look like an accident. Pick, pick, pick. Some guy with a keyboard, and there goes your car. I'm just saying. Anyway, I might be with my tinfoil hat on today, but I'm not buying a BYD. Tell you no. Tell to them no. Anyway, folks, that's it for this one. I just thought this was a really weird and interesting situation. You guys be good and be safe out there. I will see you all in the next video. Y'all take care.